بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما تعلمنا وزدنا بفضلك علما وتعليما إنك على كل شيء قدير. Sexual subservience. Now, I'm not talking about anything that happens, the specifics that are happening in the bedroom and how the individuals choose to do things. I'm not talking about that. That's not what I mean by this at all. We're talking about something else. So we mentioned that in Islam, the wife is submissive to the husband emotionally, physically, sexually, not religiously. You're not in charge of her spirituality, not financially. That's her own world, right? And so this is a fundamental thing. So again, these Muslim clerics, these guys are head cases. You're just like super misogynistic. Go and ask the average man, right? The average man is interested in approximately one thing. And we all know that what it is. And so when he has a long-term girlfriend or a wife, there's basically one thing that he's interested in. And that's what happens. So men are very, very simple. Men and women are basically very simple. Men just want that, and women want to feel understood. And they also want that, and men also want to be respected. So there's basically two things that men are interested in. And those two things really go hand in hand. So men want to be respected, and being sexually subservient is part and parcel of being respected. So if you went and ask a man, like, oh, do you feel respected by your wife? And he's like, yeah. Chances are she's sexually subservient. That's basically the picture. So men, often as a man, you look at a woman and you think women are kind of fairly immature on certain levels. Men are also fairly immature on certain levels. Women are a bit like kids on certain levels. Men are also a bit like kids on certain levels. That's just the nature of people, right? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a right to a man that when he wants to be intimate, his wife has to be intimate, right? And so the phrase has to really doesn't fall very nice on the ears of a woman, because it's a emotional thing. How could you have to do that? That doesn't make any sense. It sounds very cold and weird. That's true. And by default, it should be an emotional thing. It should be a product of the two being emotionally connected. But that's not always the case. That's not always the case. And so the kind of trauma or the kind of tear or the kind of damage that is done to a woman when the woman done to a man when the woman says no, and what that creates in the family nucleus and then extends from the nucleus to society is a big problem, right? It's a big problem. And so women are very, very powerful in this thing because they have something in their hands that's very, very powerful. And so that's why women have to be very careful with that power that Allah has given them. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said in Sahih Bukhari, if a man calls his wife to his bed and she refuses, and he spends the night angry with her, the angels curse her until the morning. So this is an otherwise religious woman. She prays, she fasts, she gives a halaqah here and there. People ask her for religious advice. The issue is this one big test in her life she's failing in. Why? Because it's super hard, obviously. Right? You ask her to give $1 million, she's happy. Ask her to sleep with her husband when she really, really, really doesn't want to do that. It's a very, very hard thing to do, right? It is a hard thing to do. We have to recognize that, right? But again, it's such an important thing that she really needs to focus on. Ibn Hibban and others, the Prophet ﷺ said, that same hadith that we've been quoting again and again, how does it end? It's one flow. Right? Respect and intimacy, they're basically the same thing for men, by the way, sisters. They're basically the same thing. Right? So the Prophet ﷺ said, I swear by him in whose hand is my soul. A woman cannot fulfill her duty to her Lord unless she fulfills her duty to her husband. What did that even mean? He says, even if she were to be giving birth, hyperbole of course, right? Hyperbole. And he invited her to be intimate with him, she should not decline. Right? So why is that hyperbole? Obviously, if a woman is actually giving birth, she would be harmed by being intimate with her husband, of course, right? But it's a hyperbole meaning even in the most difficult situation, she shouldn't say no. She cannot say no, right? And so, one of the beautiful things with the hadith is so many hadiths are narrated by women, right? And we have women asking women. So one of the early Muslims, she asked Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, what if a woman's husband wants to be intimate and she refuses because she's upset, right? He's done something yesterday or the day before that was like, just broke her heart, right? Her heart's broken, right? What is she supposed to do? So she's really upset with him. Or she's just not in the mood. It's like totally the wrong time. Like, what are you talking about? Right? Like, where's the romance? Where's the this? Where's the that? Where's like I'm sorry, it's like not in the mood at all, right? Is she sinful if she doesn't do that? So is it, when you say a woman has to be intimate, does it mean on the proviso that she's emotionally ready and physically ready? Is that what it means? Right? And the answer is no. So actually she answered this question. She's not in the mood, and the guy doesn't deserve it. The guy's a jerk. The guy's an idiot. The guy's can't believe he just said what he did. Whatever he just did, like totally just turned her off 120%. Right? She'd prefer to sleep with an orangutan than that guy, with all due respect to him. Right? So Aisha radiallahu anha, being a woman, do you not think she was in that situation sometimes? Do you not think she was emotionally hurt sometimes by the Prophet ﷺ? That he has all these other wives, these other women come, things happen, all sorts of things. People are people, right? That she said, yes, it is his right that if he wanted to be intimate with you and you were giving birth, you still cannot refuse, right? She used the same hyperbole. So key concept. We have to spiritually see the situation. You, sister, you are being tested with one of the biggest tests ever. You're not in the mood at all. Not thinking about that at all. Particularly with not that individual. Anybody else but him. But Allah has put you in this situation, sister, and this is the situation you're in. And you're being tested. So your path to paradise or path to hell? Your path to build society by building the nucleus of your family, or to hell? Or the opposite. And again, just look at your husband. Look at the husband. A man who is sexually suppressed, right? What happens? All sorts of things happen. The mood changes, the tone changes, the work changes, positivity changes. Women are have a lot of power here, have a lot of power. And we have to use that power in a healthy way, right? And not abuse that power. And so, what does it mean? It means, sexually speaking, the husband controls her, right? And I don't mean to be graphic, but it's part and parcel of the same thing. The sexual act itself involves control. And so, if you don't relinquish control, it's not going to happen. Like, it doesn't work like that, right? And so it's like pure fitrah, meaning like it's observable fitrah, like observable nature. It's one system. That if you are continually saying no and you're not succumbing to your husband, is a problem, right? So key concept, the husband controls her sexually. The wife does not control him sexually, right? Let's take an extreme scenario, right? Concubines don't exist, right? The world of concubines don't exist. But imagine a situation, a man has a wife and a concubine. He literally owns a woman. Through owning a woman, you can be intimate with that woman. A man could buy a slave. Could a man be intimate could a woman be intimate with the man that he owns, that she owns? No. Because the nature, the dynamics are not the same. Owning a woman and being intimate with a woman, they're almost synonymous. Control, ownership, right? It's actually the same concept. Whereas with a woman, it's not the same. A woman owning a man, yes, he can work for you. Yes, you can sell him. You can tell him, go here, go there. That's true. But you don't own him in that way, because the nature of men and women are not like that. And so a woman who cannot give up, be submissive in the bedroom with her husband, there's a huge chunk of her femininity that is lost. A huge chunk of her femininity that's lost. Right? It's a huge issue. Right? Another thing about control, right? A man knows that his wife is cheating on him. Okay? He can take her to court and do what's called li'an, public imprecation, meaning my wife is cheating on me and I want her stoned to death. right? And there's a thing called li'an, it can happen. A woman can't do that to the husband because they're not on the same level, right? It is possible in some scenarios that she could have a divorce for being cheated on, because that's emotional abuse, that's something else. But the concept of being cheated on as a man and being cheated on a woman is not actually the same, right? In the eyes of the Sharia, in the eyes of Allah, right? Because of the hierarchic difference, there is a difference in hierarchy, the submission, right? She is breaking the submission by going sleeping with somebody else. He is actually not. He's sinning against himself, and he's damaging society. But it's not the same thing. Hence polygamy, same kind of discussion, right? A wife is not in control of him, right? And so what happens when there is no submission, right? What happens when she is not sexually available? Like, it's not, the door is not open emotionally, like that's a whole thing, it's not open, right? It's like, yeah, you got to earn it, right? That's the kind of mentality, you got to earn it, right? So what happens then? Number one, it's unnatural, okay? Number two, it's only a shallow relationship, because what's happened is she's taken away this submissive nature, and he doesn't have in her what he wants. So if you've actually devalued yourself as a woman, you have devalued your relationship, and you've made it a shallow relationship, right? Because it's not there, right? And then it also creates sexual perversion, right? That's what happens. So this is how the West works. Empower women, make them say no to their husbands or to their boyfriends, so that they continually want it in another way. So then, because they continually want it in another way, they're always buying stuff. So they're always seeing images and wanting to buy stuff. It's always on their mind. The Sharia wants it not on your mind. So it should be available and easy, and it's not on your mind, right? And then because she's involved in sin, may Allah protect us all, there's no blessings in their life, because you're continually blocking, right? Man shaq Allahu alayh, as the Prophet ﷺ said, right? Whoever makes things difficult for somebody else, Allah will make it difficult for them, right? And now, again, am I judging any female? I am not a female, and I've never been in that situation, and I will never be in that situation, because I don't know what it's like. So I'm not judging anybody, right? Nobody's here to judge anybody. What we're trying to say is, this has to be done, right? This has to be done. This is a key thing that, like, okay, I need to work on this. As a female, I need to be sexually submissive, meaning a husband's interested, he knows it's always available, like always available. I will drop everything for him to do that, not a problem. And he knows that. Go and, again, walk into a bar, okay, go and ask any non-Muslim man, any guy on the street, and say, would you like to have a wife or a girlfriend who is willing to sleep with you any time of the day? He'd be like, yeah, if she exists, right? That's like the woman of the dreams, right? You don't want to be the woman of his dreams? Or do you want somebody else to be in his dreams? Right? I'm being very frank. And I'm being frank because this is a nusah li kulli Muslim, right? The Prophet ﷺ has told us to be frank. Like, many sisters, it just doesn't sit in their head. They're living in la-la land. And it's like, sister, be that person who builds the building bricks of society by letting go. It is not your body. It's Allah gave it to you. And you've married this man. It's now his body. He does have a right to touch you however he likes, as long as it's not harmful, right? As long as it's not harmful. When you're submissive, it's natural. It's a natural relationship. You are now a female. It's a way into his heart, right? It's a way into his heart, a major way into his heart. See how it is now. He's like, oh my God, you're a totally different person. And then blessings in your life, that the angels are not cursing you, that there's a barakah in your life, right? And then you see how it knock-on effect, how it happens in the family, and this and this and this and this and this, right? So when we say submissive, that doesn't mean complete obedience. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ also said there is no obedience to a created being that entails disobedience to the Creator. So when we come to the specifics of intimacy, there are certain things in intimacy that are haram. And so you can't be obedient to your husband when you're disobedient to the Creator. It's not possible, right? It's haram to do that, right? So if it's in something that's haram, or in a certain time in the month where it's haram, you can't do that, right? And on top of that as well, the Prophet ﷺ said, he is not of us who does not show mercy to his inferiors. So, brother, she's tired, for crying out loud, Brother, there's a million things on her mind, for crying out loud. Brother, did you not see what happened today? Brother, there's a million things, right? Do you want to put her in a corner so she has to say no to you? Don't even ask. And if she says no, forgive her, right? The hadith says that he spends the night angry with her. Okay, forgive her. Khalas. Forgive and forget. أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ? Wouldn't you want Allah to forgive you? Right? So the husband on his part should be forgiving, understanding, merciful, give her break, not super demanding. You find the times when she's most interested, and other times when she's not so interested. There's times when she's really not interested. Don't push it. Be easygoing, right? This is what we should expect from husbands, right? But what we expect from the wife is you have to be respectful and obedient. So your husband's asking you when you're really not in the mood, and he quote unquote doesn't deserve it, because in your mind you've said he doesn't deserve it, even though Allah said he does. That's fine. You got to fight yourself. Jihad and nafs. This is jihad and nafs. This is spirituality. You'll be like, yes, there's a million things going on. This is more important. It's Eid tomorrow. This is more important. We have to go shopping. This is more important. I don't really care what happens. Allah has asked me to provide this. This is what I'm responsible for. This is what I need to focus on. Let him deal with his Lord and how lack of mercy he has, how lack of understanding, what a fool he is, whatever. Let him deal with that, right? And later on you can talk to him and say, bro, we did what we did, but please don't ask me at this time. Can you see what's happening? My brother just died 2 days ago. This is happening. That's happening. Can you not see like where we are, right? Talk to your husband. Include them, right? So again, many issues, like people don't even talk, right? They don't even talk. Don't even know what's going on, right? And then the lack of communication results in an antagonism, and then it results in more refusals, right? Which is more problematic. So it takes two to tango, right? We've got to help each other out. The husband, your job is there to provide and protect. Your job is there to lead, right? Part of leading is educating, like making sure your wife is aware of these hadiths and teachings of the Prophet ﷺ, teachings of the Quran, and also being understanding and merciful. She's not saying no to you. There's an issue here. There's things going on. Her head is full with 1,000,000 things. Please be considerate. Please understand what's going on. And for the wife, be provided for. You're not there to provide. That's not your job. So suddenly you've put it on your plate to provide. That's not your job. You've added things to your plate that aren't there. And to be protected, right? And to follow. And to be obedient and submissive, right? But you know what? Put your hand up if you're a perfect Muslim, right? So brother, try to provide and protect. Many men, you're not providing enough. Most Muslim men, you don't actually provide enough, because you live in the 21st century and you live in a situation where you can't actually provide. Okay, Habibi, if you are not providing for her and you're asking her to be, you're not being perfect, you're asking her to be perfect. So Habibi, you try and provide and protect. Are you protecting her really? Does she feel emotionally protected? No. Are you leading by example and knowledge, and you're leading the family, or you're letting the kids just watch whatever? You're not involved in the kids' education, you're not involved in this, you're not leading. Right? So you, brother, you try and provide and protect. You, brother, you try and lead. You, brother, you try and understand. You are not understanding and merciful, with all due respect. With all due respect, you're not understanding. You have no clue. After 20 years, you still don't understand your wife. And you have like 1 ounce of mercy. But try and be more understanding of her, and try and be merciful. And she can try and follow you more, and try and be more submissive, etc. And she can try and be more submissive in the bedroom, and try and do all these things that we're talking about. Right? This is what we need. We need two to tango, right? So we're not here to label and judge other people. But we do need to make sure that our bearings are right. This is the problem. There's a big difference between somebody who is not even trying, right? She doesn't believe in being submissive in the bedroom to begin with. It's like a weird thing that it's not even part of her religious life. She thinks in totally different paradigms. He thinks in totally different paradigms. You're not even trying to walk in the right direction. So at least we can say, you know what? These are my faults. These are your faults. Where can we go from here? And this is why this class is here, to just put things in the right perspective. Like, oh, we're supposed to be over here. I get you. Okay, we are 20 years into this marriage and it's totally the wrong direction. That's fine. But at least we can try and start walking in the right direction, inshallah ta'ala. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.